Well, hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. Hello and welcome. You are watching Un Poco Mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more. My name is DannyDealz, and for executive producer Hurricane Lopez, we'd like to welcome you to the program today. I'd like to talk with you about an exciting hot stock right now, Gamida Cell Ltd. Ticker symbol GMDA. They just received FDA approval for their drug Omisurge not long ago, and the stock has been some pretty interesting price action. Um, Basically, what happened with the stock, and let me share my screen with you, was on approval. The stock had been trading low from 75, pushed up to about 80 cents. On approval, the stock jumped up to almost $1.80 and came back down into the 141 range and has essentially hugged like this $1.60, $1.62 range for the last 2 weeks since we got the big spike there from approval. And a lot of people are like, well, the stock was low, it went high. Why is it stuck here? Is it shorts? Is it options? Is it just the natural price action and the value based on what the market thinks it's worth? Absolutely not. This price action, this actual price point has been very sticky for the stock, going back almost basically an entire year. So if you look at the chart, you will see that this line here that is about $1.61, the line in green, going across. This has been sticky both as support and resistance for the stock. And basically, this has been support going back all the way to July 2022. It was support there, had a massive pump. Found support again in September of 2022, support again in October 2022, and then the line basically flipped in November 22 to resistance, and we saw the stock go down to $1.17 and then come back up January 2023, this year, of course, fly along the line until February, dipped back down, made a nice cup there, came back up. And again, this line went back up above the line, but basically functioned as resistance until March. The stock got hammered when the company came out with the warning on its fiscal condition. Came along until we got approval and the stock popped back up. But what I want you to understand is the stock has not gone up on approval. It just went back to essentially where it's been trading for the last year, minus the pumps and the dumps. I popped this blue trend line in just as a short term trend line to see where we might be going if the stock can continue to make an upward movement. This is just sort of an average line. It doesn't really, mean too much. I just came down, started here at the bottom, sort of averaged out, came through the top of this candle, near the bottom of this candle, bottom of this candle, and has basically, done a pretty good job, this line, of bisecting this, you know, very recent trend. Let me just get rid of that. But in any case, if you look at the short interest on the stock, you're like, why is this stock stuck at $1.61? What does that number actually mean? Well, let me just take a look at a couple things really quickly. Taking a look at the options for May 19, there's a little bit of volume and a lot of open interest on that 250 call, nothing on puts. Go to June, again, volume and a lot of open interest on that 250 call, little bit of action on the $5 call, absolutely nothing on the puts. You go out to September, again, quite a bit of action actually on the dollar call and a little bit on the 250 and $5, and then even a little bit of action on the 750 call. Go out to December of this year, which is the longest call they're offering, and there's a lot of action on the dollar call. And this could have been purchased when the stock's well under $1, could have been purchased as a hedge. You don't really know. But the only action on the stock is some calls basically at $2.50. So it's a put call ratio. If it's very small action, but that would be bullish. Another thing I'd like to go over here is the short interest. Um, if you take a look at the short interest, it's a little bit confusing. Official reports put the cost to borrow at 97%. But if you go to the live short interest, which gives you a more realistic picture, the return shares today were 600,000, borrowed 1.1 million, so net increase in the short of 500,000. The live short interest is currently showing 8.2% of the free float, or 7 million shares, and the cost to borrow average is 183%. So look at what's going on with this short, folks. Even on the cost to borrow on the officially published data, it's showing 98%. It was 125% just 7 days ago. So I want to take a look at the cost to borrow that's published over a 3 month period. So 3 months ago, the cost to borrow was 1.85%. It's increased 5,200% since that time. 2 months ago, it's also increased 5,800%. 1 month ago, we've had an 1,800% increase in cost to borrow from 5 to 98% with the published data. From 2 weeks ago, 1,300% increase from 6.81 to 98. And 7 days ago, the cost to borrow went down ever so slightly because shorts were caught with their pants down. The cost to borrow absolutely spiked through the roof, but the algos held on and the algos continued to short the stock. The cost to borrow and the utilization went way up. For instance, 12 months ago, utilization was at 37%. Right now, it's at 92%. 12 months ago, cost to borrow was 1.63. Right now, it is 98%. And if you look at the actual short interest that counts the dark pool, cost to borrow average is 183% and topped out maxed over 201%. So there is a very, very significant short on the stock. A significant short doesn't just have to be, 50% of the free float is shorted. It can be a high percentage of the shares that are available because nobody wants to sell this stock right now. Everybody, I think, who's holding it, or most people, realize that it's dramatically undervalued when you consider the entire market cap of the company is less than like $200 million, and they're sitting on an approved FDA approved cancer drug that at its peak is going to sell well over $500 million per year. And there is a very reliable built-in set of patients that are going to actually need this drug, and their insurance companies are going to cover it. So a lot of this company has been de-risked with that FDA approval. They do have some financial concerns, they do have some debt, but if you look at that, it's really small potatoes compared to the revenues that they're going to see coming in from this drug over the next couple of years. So, or the next probably 15 or 20 years until something better comes along. But I just wanted to point out this Schedule 13G was filed just a couple of days ago. It's from April 19, but this is associated with the recent offering. This is scheduled by Stone Pine Capital Management LLC. And basically, they have 4.7 million shares that they're voting on as a partnership. Um, Joe Plexico and Timothy Lynch, those are the principals of Stone Pine Capital. So they bought 1.7 million shares and 3 million warrants to purchase additional shares, which would give them control of like 4.5% of the company. So this is a legitimate investor. They invest. So I just want to say, why hasn't the stock gone up? It's not just that the hedge funds have hung on to their shorts. The algos hung on. They've been willing to pay an absurdly high cost to borrow to keep the stock pegged where their algo wants it at $1.62 for whatever reason. But not just that, it's the offering has also put downward price pressure, because when you do an at the money offering, then you know companies that wanted to invest after this FDA approval, they might have bought the offering because it's more attractive, because then they get the opportunity to also buy warrants in the future. And those warrants are generally at a discount and they're good for years and years. So it essentially gives you like a free option on the shares of the company, those warrants, to let you know that for a period of years you're going to be able to buy shares on the cheap should the stock take off like many of us believe it would. But as the filings come in, I'm going to give you guys updates. Just wanted to give you an update that the cost to borrow has gone sky high. Shorts have not let go. A lot of people, want to know essentially like, why hasn't the price gone up? How are we stuck at $1.60? How is this possible with an approved cancer drug? Well, it's possible because market makers control the market, and this is a relatively small stock. It's a micro cap. So if they want to keep it down, they can keep it down. All it takes is money. Taking a look at the volume over the last 5 days, 4 million, 4 million, 4 million, 3 million, and then today we popped up to 6 million. So an increase in volume could put more pressure on the shorts and could put more pressure on the share price and could actually send the share price a bit higher. Now, I don't think there's a short squeeze on this stock, because even though their utilization has gone up, I think the offering and all the warrants hanging out there will just shares will become available. This isn't the kind of thing where there's going to be no shares and there's going to be a ton of revenues in the near future, but it can definitely, shorts covering if they have to, can definitely put quite a bit of buying pressure on the stock, and there's a very significant short here. Volume today fell back to only just below 3 million shares, so we had a little increase coming in volume yesterday, and then the volume subsided again today. So that's Gamida Cell Limited. The stock was up 3 cents today, and it is back down 3 cents after hours. Started right where we closed yesterday, stopped at $1.61. So as I said, that has become an extremely sticky point for the stock. If you go back even a couple of years, people were asking, where do you think the stock can go if it breaks out? Um, this is just, again, just complete speculation, but back here, the stock had come down a bit in November 2021. It found resistance at this $4.25 level, basically, and then it came down and back up again. And March 2022 found resistance again at this $4.25-ish level. So if the stock is able to break out, as you would expect it probably would after news of FDA approval, you can expect the stock, I would think, to come up and challenge that 425 level sometime in August. That would be sort of a healthy breakout. I don't want to see anything like a vertical like we saw around this area in July and August. The stock went up too far, too fast. I'd much rather see this type of increase that we saw sort of January through March, where the stock was able to march up from 225 to that 425 level over the course of 3 to 4 months. If we can march up from this $1.60 level up to that 425 level and challenge that level over the course of the next 3 to 4 months, I think we could certainly break out to the upside given the amount of revenues that are coming in. Next logical level to challenge might be around $12. You could make an argument that this $6 to $7 level is key, but there's just not much there. We see what we want to see on these charts, but sometimes it's just wishful thinking and we are imagining things. It is an oasis. Not an oasis, but a mirage. I'm sorry. What's the story, Morning Glory? What the hell am I talking about? Anyway, that is Gamida Cell Limited, ticker symbol GMDA. Price is being algo held at $1.60. Cost to borrow is up. Shorts are hanging on, and this coiled spring has to go up. There is nothing I can see on the horizon that is going to crash this stock. They are going to bring this product to market. They are going to sell it. They're prepared to do it alone if they have to, but their certainly preference is to do it with a partner. And Novartis, again, already owns a good chunk of the company, and there's other companies that are interested. We just have to wait and see. Hold for announcement, hold for news, hold for the stock to actually, hold for the drug to actually get to market. And I think we will be handsomely rewarded as GMDA investors. Full disclosure, I do have a fairly substantial position in the stock, been increasing it quite a bit over the last couple of weeks. And also, this is not financial advice. I don't know anything. I am just a big blabbermouth here on the internet, and you should not listen to me. You should always do your own research. Do your DD, for God's sake. Read something. Read a book. But in any case, it's GMDA, the ticker symbol. This is Un Poco Mas. My name is DannyDealz, for executive producer Hurricane Lopez. Thank you so much for watching. It has been an absolute pleasure hosting you today. And you guys have a great afternoon. It is May 2nd, 2023 at 3:30 p.m. in Los Angeles. Market is closed. We will talk at you tomorrow.